Hey, well, it's July 1st, 2009 there, and it's Wednesday. It's question of the week time, and before I get too much into it, this past weekend, thanks to thefightcountdown.com, they got me press passes. I had press credentials, and I was able to go to see Windy City Fight Night 3. Frieza Kendo was on the card, fighting for the WBC Latino heavyweight title, which he won. Awesome knockout victory for him. So if you want to see my review of that, I wrote it down, so it's not me talking. But if you go to their website there, they have a lot of cool information, and I write columns for them from time to time, or my predictions, I take them from video and put them on paper, which is pretty hard to do. Anyway, much thanks to them. Okay, back to the question of the week which was, what fight would you most like to see? Now, got a lot of great comments. There's an unbelievable amount of fights out there. This one by far did better than any of the other questions of the week. It seems like you all have a lot of fights out there. And when I asked you what fight would you most like to see, half of you couldn't stop at one. It was like, and you get that little drool in your mouth, ashy knuckles. A couple of you guys, I was the same way. You start thinking about these fights and these matches or dream matches that you've had since you were just a little kid, and to even the thought about it just almost puts you into overload, So there was like 15, 16 fights that had at least 2 or 3 people talking about it, and I only go for those. If it's just one person talking about it, I respect it, and I think they would be great fights. There really wasn't any bad ones, unless you were like, yeah, PBF, Muhammad Ali. That's not really going to happen. But if it was fighters that were within weight ranges, like like Roberto Duran spanned a lot of weight ranges, Hearns, Leonard, a lot of those fighters, Sugar Ray Robinson, a lot of those fighters spanned a decent group of weight classes. Hold on, it's my ma. Yeah, ma. Yeah. All right. Yeah, bring the. Yeah. Oh, that'll work then. Yeah. Yeah, bring the little dog. Then we get our bone of beef from Chicago. All right. All right. So I'll see you in an hour and a half or 2 hours or so. All right. All right. All right. Love you, ma. All right. Bye. Well, that was Ma, and I'm sorry. I'm going to answer that phone if Ma calls. That's it's Ma. You don't want an Italian woman mad at you. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, back to the number one fight. There was actually 2 that tied, and they both had nine different people said, hey, I want to see this fight, and that was Ali Tyson. Both were named in a lot of different fights. Ali against Tyson. I mean, Prime versus Prime, maybe within just before Customato died. You had a wrecking ball in Tyson, and then you got Ali. Everybody, whenever he would get beat, he would come back and just whoop you afterward. He might take you easy the first time, but the second time you were getting Ali, and that's what you got. His losses to Holmes and who was a Berbick. At the end of his career, I really don't put a lot of weight into, because it was the end of his career. What he did in the beginning and in the middle, more so than the end. And that was Stylen AZN, the kid 2189, Bradojevic, Gauze. It's KP Mofo, H Juan Hugh, WL 6309, TH and Sight Upon Light. All said they would love to see Ali versus Tyson, and so would I. All the fights were amazing, and you just can't help not wanting to see them. The second one was Pacquiao Duran. Oh, you couldn't blink in that fight. You had toothpicks in the eyes. Just the whole fight, and you just watch it like this, and your eye would stay open the whole time, and it would dry out, and it would suck really bad, because I got a fan blowing in it right now. But Stylen AZN, J Wing Sun Blues, H Juan Hugh again, Red Pandemic, Bradojevic, Bulldog 359, Yuri 30-30-30, Surfer Maverick, and Dark Sword Serthus. All wanted that, and I don't blame you. That was an amazing fight. The second one, or the number 3 fight now, there was actually a tie for that, and that was 7 people. And both of these fights, if you didn't buy the pay-per-view, there's something wrong with you. You don't like boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard against Floyd Mayweather. Hold on. Think about it for a second. Yeah. And that was the Kid 2189, Gauze, Matter Mexican, K. Walls, Mousy Collins, J.D. Toledo, and Dark Sword Cerrethas. Again. And amazing, amazing fight. The second one was Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker against Floyd Mayweather. It's KP Mofo, the Kid 2189, J. Wing T Sun Blues, NSCC Bradoyevich, M. Chris 79, and Stand and Fight TV. And I mean, just to see the styles, I mean, if you're just looking for knockouts, these aren't the fights you want to watch. But if you want to see pure fighting at its best, boxing, the manly art of self-defense in all its glory, these are fights you need to see, that you would see, and it would just be absolutely amazing. Where do we get next? Oh, we got 3 that tied for, I guess it would be 5th place. 3 fights. I mean, and 5 people on each one of them, and it's amazing because these fights were so good. Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali. I know. That just sounds sweet to say. Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali in their primes. Houdathen, Stylen AZN, Will Million 15, Charlie Garbs, and Corey Pearson all wanted that fight, and I don't blame them. The other one, and I once it was mentioned, I'm like, yeah, Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler against Joe the Italian Dragon Calzaghe. Yeah. Simply Athers, Natalie Holt, SP the King, Gauze, and Heroes to Zeros. Wanted to see that one. And so do I. I mean, that's it. The 5th one, and this was kind of surprising, but a lot of people really started coming down on this, was Hearns Williams. Yeah, Bradoyevich, J. Wingson Blues, Bulldog 359, Borges 773, and SP the King. Now, Borges 773 wanted to see the Pacquiao-Cotto fight. You know, I was like, dude, you could have any fight, but he loves Cotto. I don't blame him. It's a great fight. Pacquiao's a great fight. One of the Hearns and Williams one. Okay, and I was like, well, that's 7 fights, and we've only 3 down, so let's go a little more into it. Marvelous Marvin Hagler again comes up again against Bernard Hopkins. Man, come on. Yeah, just the thought. I mean, you get a tingle down your back there. SP the King, Matter Mexican, Will Million 15, and J Blues. That's your new one. Your J Blues. There's too much Wing and T Sun in there. Your J Blues. 4 people wanted that. You had Roberto Duran against Julio Cesar Chavez. Voice for Vendetta, Will Million 15, Stand and Fight TV. I don't blame you. Julio Cesar Chavez against Manny Pacquiao. Come on, man. These, get 7 Sabertooth 7, Tater Tots 00, Lionel Hutzer, all wanted that, the Pacquiao one. Then you had Salvador Sanchez against Juan Manuel Marquez. You had Marciano against Dempsey. Jones against Calzaghe. Calzaghe against Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn against Marvin Hagler. Ali against Marciano. Tyson against Marciano. Marciano against Dempsey. Tyson against Dempsey. I mean, it just goes on, and your brain will overflow. Salvador Sanchez, what was it, Willie Pep, or Sandy Sadler. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson against Mosley. Who's the best Sugar? You know, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, all these fights were enough. And I know I just threw out a bunch there. It's just thinking about it is absolutely amazing. And I thank you all for bringing those up. It was great. It's great to just even think about how awesome those fights would be. Now, question number 5. And this is going to be tough because I only want one fight. I want you to narrow it down to one fight. The one fight that you had the biggest influence or biggest impact on your life. Doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest fight. But what was that one fight that did it for you? I mean, me, the one fight I guess would say that turned me on to fighting, to boxing, was watching my cousin, Luke Capuano, From Chicago, Illinois. Check him out. When he went against Mike Rosman for the light heavyweight title. That did it for me. That was my I want to fight. When I was little, I said, you know what? I'm going to put the gloves on. I'm going to be like Cousin Luke. You know what I mean? I was like, that's what I want to do. Okay? So that was my fight. What was your fight that got you hook, line, and sinkered into boxing? Alright? What's the Bigragu? You all have a wonderful day. I'm out.